So everything in this universe is made up of matter. You, me, this smartphone, books, dogs, everything. But there is something called as antimatter. So yes, in this next 6 to 7 minutes, I'm gonna tell you about antimatter, that how it's made, how it works, and what are its uses. In the last century, Albert Einstein was working on the famous theory of relativity. Yes, that famous equation E equals to mc square. In the same era, some of the scientists were working to find the properties of some very small particles known as quantum theory. And yes, this was done with maths, an enormous amount of maths. In the mid of 20th century, famous physicist Paul Dirac realized that x square equals to 4 will give you two answers, that is plus 2 and minus 2. So he thought that there will be something in the universe, that is plus 2 will be referred as matter and minus 2 will be referred as antimatter. If we consider matter as an hydrogen atom, then we can see that it is surrounded with electron with a proton in the mid of it. So antimatter is just nothing but opposite of matter, that in place of proton there will be antiproton and in place of electron there will be a positron. The reason you don't see antimatter around yourself, because if matter and antimatter collide, then boom, yes, an explosion will occur with an enormous amount of energy known as annihilation. After the Big Bang, the universe created equal amount of matter and antimatter according to some famous physicists. But you see, there is no antimatter around us, because after first second of Big Bang, matter and antimatter collided and boom, annihilation occurred and all the antimatter disappeared with just matter left behind it. Theoretically speaking, matter and antimatter are just same. Let's take an example. If we made a book made up of matter and on the other hand we made a book of antimatter, then they both will be exactly same. Yes, there will be no difference between them. Large Hadron Collider is located at CERN, which is European Council for Nuclear Research, where antimatter is made. The current capacity to make the antimatter in LHC is 1 million atom per minute. Yes, this might shock you that this is a very large quantity, but this is nothing. If we make 1 million atom per minute for around 100 crore years, yes, you heard it right, for 100 crore years, then it will only be able to make just 1 gram of antimatter. Antimatter was first trapped in the year 2010 and till now only 10 nanograms of antimatter have been produced till now, just 10 nanograms. So now you got it, that why it is too difficult to produce it. Now the major problem in the production of antimatter is its storage, because if we store it in a container or in air, then it will combine with them and boom, annihilation will occur and nothing will remain, means antimatter will disappear. So to overcome this, at CERN, that is inside the Large Hadron Collider, a magnetic field is used to hold the anti-hydrogen atom, like this you can see on the screen. So anti-hydrogen particle mainly sits at magnetic field bubble or magnetic field tub, where they don't touch any matter, so that it could be studied well. At the Earth's outer atmosphere, when high cosmic energy falls, then natural antimatter produces, but just for a very less fraction of second, because it combines with matter and boom, annihilation occurs. So using that antimatter is just tends to impossible. Now we will gonna talk about the uses of antimatter. So first use of antimatter is to cure cancer diagnosis. Yes, it is also known as PET, which is also known as positron emission tomography scan. You must have watched Star Wars movies in which the spaceships was working on the energy that was released from the combination of matter and antimatter. If we can someday achieve this practically, then we could achieve the speed of spaceship, which will be 50% of the speed of light. Yes, 50% of the speed of light. Can you imagine? Some scientists of NASA say that 1 gram of antimatter costs around $62.5 trillion. Yes, you heard it right. It is $62.5 trillion. So now you got to know that why it is so difficult to produce antimatter. We know that our universe is made up of matter, but if it was made up of antimatter, then it would look and feel as same as we know our universe. So yes, we might be made up of antimatter, and what we call antimatter might actually be matter. So yes, sometimes physics is very crazy and it's very deep as we think it is, but still it's a great and a very interesting subject. So tell us in the comment section, do you love physics? And also tell us about the reviews of our videos. So this is it for the video. Thank you so much.
Namaste.